I'm so excited. Welcome everybody to the Trisbrina Show. Today we're talking about how to create the life you deserve with 3 steps to tapping effortless manifestation. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. What are we going to do?
Well, we're going to explore the quest for personal growth and manifestation. We're going to look at the marriage of ancient wisdom. Tone this down a little bit. Hi, y'all. We're going to be looking at ancient wisdom and how it connects with modern science and how to unveil this fascinating journey of transformation.
Yeah, the combination of energy work with the alignment to soul and the power of intention creates a holistic approach.
That's right. Well, baby girl, tonight let's explore the 3 steps to effortless manifestation. We're talking about attunement, alignment, and attainment, and how they work in synergy and connect our inner and outer worlds. And we're going to share some of the scientific evidence to back this up.
But first,
let's talk about this word effortless.
Yes.
Effortless.
Yes. So this is what do they say? Something is a trigger when it makes you go, what?
Yeah.
And have a little reaction. When I hear effortless manifestation, I feel a little triggered because it's like, oh, come on, that's a little BS, right? You know what I mean? But yes.
But we did put it in the title.
Yeah.
So there's a reason. So even though we're going to poo-poo it, there's a reason.
Right. So some people say effortless, meaning I'm going to be lazy on the couch and eat Cheetos and
I'm attracting everything I want.
Yeah, and not participate in life. But when we're saying effortless manifestation, we're talking about the energy of efforting where it feels hard. It feels like pushing a rock up a hill. It feels like work. It feels like going against the flow, going against the grain. That it shouldn't feel hard. It should feel in flow, which is another word for effortless, but that means with your participation, there is this effortlessness to the flow of energy.
So welcome. If you're just getting here, we're talking about 3 steps that we follow. If you follow our work, our method, Satori method, this is just a different slant. It's the same method, if you will. It's just a different way of explaining it to you. So maybe it'll spark an insight, a shift for you, and you'll be having ahas after the show. So we're talking about these 3 steps. We live these. The first one we call attunement. We'll dive into that. The next is alignment. And the third is, of course, attainment, getting the good stuff, including experiences. We have started the show talking about this word effortless. And there is a beautiful effortless flow that we can all tap into, right? And there's the efforting, as Sabrina said, where it feels like you're pushing a rock up a hill and you're forcing things. Somebody mentioned last night, they used the word, I sometimes feel good when I feel desperate. And somebody else clarified, no, it's not a desperation. It's not like a gripping tight, like I gotta have it, but it's an excitement. That doesn't mean it's effort. Excitement, even work. Like when I work out at the gym, I can say, yeah, I put in effort, but it's not like this type of such an effort.
Well, they call it effortless effort is a term that's often used. So if I think about it in terms of relationship, right, and you're starting to date and you're seeing if this person is going to make a good life partner, if that's what you're into.
I'm into good life partner.
It shouldn't feel like, oh my gosh, being with this person is so much effort. It's so much effort to figure out what to talk about. It's so much effort to get along, right? It shouldn't feel like that. But at the same time, I don't think anyone would say that being in a healthy relationship with great communication is effortless, right? You're bringing energy to it, but it should feel in flow. It should feel good. It should feel like something you want to do. So when we're saying effortless manifestation, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about manifestation from this flow and ease and fun, and the effort that is there, like a great workout, feels good.
Yeah, and then of course, dude, you nailed it. There's also the universe doing the heavy lifting. When you're, as you'll see as we get into this 3 phases, and you're getting into this aligned state, and you're allowing the universe to do a lot of the heavy lifting, that really is effortless. There's no effort at all on your part, right? But there is this first phase that we want to talk about. It's called attunement. So for us, attunement, you could think of it like a musical instrument. For example, a guitar that's out of attunement or out of tune. So what are you doing? You're organizing the strings or the instrument in such a way that it plays beautifully. Strumming, right? If the chord is what is it called? I haven't strung my guitar in forever. The strings of the instrument are too loose, they won't play. If they're too tight, they'll break. So this we can look at in the body. When the body's too tight, when there's too much tension, when there's adhesions in the tissue, you're going to block the flow of your instrument and your energy, and you're not going to be attuned.
Right.
But your mind is also a big part of your body. Let's talk about the mind and the body.
Well, when you're in tune with someone, when you're singing, when you're in harmony, you are saying, oh, they're singing in tune. Now that might mean you're actually both singing the same note, or you're singing a third above or below, but there is a harmony to that. So I'm going to compare that harmony and that attunement, making not just a note, but a chord to the mind and the body, when those two are in communication with each other. Because I think the first thing that keeps people from creating what they want, let's say what they want is some type of healing that keeps them from moving forward, is there is a conflict between
Discord.
the conversation. Yeah, there's a dissonance, it's sharp, it's flat, it's not working. Because maybe the mind is saying, I want this thing. And the body is actually saying, I'm scared to go there because of something that's happened in the past. Because a lot of times the issues are in the tissues, or the body could be saying, I want to do that. But the brain can say, yeah, but you've always had that bad knee. It's probably not going to go away. So they're not in agreement. They're not singing the same song. They're not a blended chord. They're not in harmony. They're not in tune with each other.
There's dis-ease. Dis-ease. A lot of times people will say, I'm looking for that body-mind or mind-body. What is the word that people use? It's communication. It's that the data, the information is communicating well back and forth.
That tough word people use sometimes, that word communication.
Yeah, that tough word. No, you want
to
to
rarely used.
I know, it's such a strange word. I can barely pick it out of my brain. Mind-body communication, right? Mind-body. Are you going to do that all night? All my great sound bites are going to be destroyed now.
Sorry.
Mind-body communication. I remember when I was a kid, I remember reading that in the different personal development books, right? Like, oh yeah, the mind. I haven't been thinking about the mind. I haven't been working on my mind at all. I've been working on my body, but my mind and body need to be in a beautiful communication. And so that's what dis-ease or discord is all about, is your mind and body are out of sync. So attunement for us is about getting the body and the mind into a state of flow, into a state of alignment. And when you can do that through movement practices, the energy arts, obviously, we love, like Qigong, for example, moving meditations, certain types of dance, certain types of yoga techniques, because they work on the physical body, they work on the energy body, and they incorporate your mindfulness into the practice.
Yeah, that's why something like Qigong is so powerful, because you are using the mind to move your body in specific ways, to think about how you're breathing, how you're standing, how you're moving. And then your body is actually doing the movement with you. So you must be in harmony to accomplish that task. And then activating the flow of energy and unlocking the flow of energy is so important, because if you're not in communication between your mind and your body, their energy isn't flowing between the two of them in a harmonious way.
And we look at the body like an instrument. So keep refining your instrument. And your body is such a beautiful friend. It's a teacher. There's massive amounts of guidance. We'll talk about guidance in multiple ways today. There's a guidance in the body. There's an instinct.
Oh, yeah.
There's a intelligence in your body that will help you make decisions if you start, people call it gut instinct, right? Whoa! Hello, that's your agent calling. That gut instinct, that ability to sense your surroundings, the ability to use your body to interface with information around you. Like, there's data all around. There's data flowing through your body, and there's data in your environments. And so the more attuned you are, you're picking up on the data. And there's so much information that we're not aware of during the day. We also have to talk about the mind. The mind has many filters or many layers that blocks us from receiving the information. It's sort of like bandwidth. You know, when you're trying to download a video and watch it on your phone or on your computer and it's going really, really slow and someone says, check your bandwidth. Well, that has to do with how open the channel is, how much data is coming through. It's called streaming sometimes. Well, you are a broadcasting station and a receiving station. So if your bandwidth is not large, is not big, is not open, you're only getting a little bit of data. So to be attuned means you are receiving so much more data than you normally do when you're in body-mind disaligned, right? And there's so much capacity that's untapped. So through tapping into the energy and the life force, through your energy practices and mindful practices, your bandwidth expands and you're so attuned. You're so much sharper, sooner, quicker, smarter.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yes, we love taking these morning walks together super early because we're in Texas and it's so hot right now. It's already 77.
It's like 104 or
at
something
7
today.
in the
What is it
morning.
right now?
You have
104 right now.
You have to hurry because it's going to be 80 by 8 o'clock. And as we're walking, we sort of delight in all the things that we see that other people may or may not, but it's because we are actively increasing our bandwidth and trying to be open as instruments to all the information and all the beauty. And we'll see birds where we shouldn't see them. We'll see grass growing out of a boulder. We see all these things, and there's this fascination with it. And I love it because it is so effortless, because we get in tune before we take a walk. It's not like, taking this walk, got to get my steps in. No, it's all, let me be present. Yeah, steps are going to happen. I'm going to get that ring filled in on my Apple Watch for sure. But that's not what it's all about.
I see my friend Matt Earl is here today, and this guy is all about getting attuned. He gets up early in the morning, and he does this crazy thing called cold plunging. Some of you guys do that. And then he does his Qigong.
He gets in and he goes,
He sings. He probably does. And then he jumps on his Peloton, and he does his Qigong, but he's doing all these things to get himself connected, attuned. And then he loves to go and write, because this guy's an amazing writer of movies and screenplays and directing. So whatever your line of work is or your line of play is, the more attuned you can get, the more quality you get out of your life. But this sets us up perfectly for the next phase in our 3 steps to manifest.
Step 2.
Effortless manifestation. So step 2 is the art of aligning, alignment. So we call it body, mind, which we just talked about. Body, mind, aligned. Do you want to kick this one off?
Sure. For me, aligned is heart. If I think about everything in my life that I have accomplished that I really thought I wanted to do, or things that I've gotten that I really thought I wanted, or people I wanted to be in relationships with that I thought were going to be, so amazing, not. It wasn't satisfying. It wasn't fulfilling, because that desire for it wasn't coming from an alignment with my heart and with my being. When a desire or something that you want to be, do, or have comes from an alignment with your heart, when you actually reach that destination, it is the most fulfilling and fun and joyful thing, because it is satisfying to all parts of you. You aren't chasing that desire because you feel insecure over here, and if you get it, maybe you feel better about yourself, because that's never going to happen, right? A lot of times people are desiring something because they feel less than in a certain area, or to finally show them, I'm going to show them I can get that part, then they'll see who I am. And then you get the part, but you still feel crappy, because the intention from which you were desiring was not aligned with your heart, which is your being.
The intention, that's so good. Yeah, I love this. Everybody here, there's a lot of folks saying they're loving this conversation, because it's so beautiful to have a clear path and to remember how important it is to take care of the body and the mind first. I believe that if you don't do that first, it's so difficult to listen to that inner knowing.
Yep.
We sometimes call this area the brain of your being. So we'll use the analogy of the mind and the body becoming aligned through practice at the heart. Have you noticed that when you get a good workout, or you go for a nice vigorous walk, and you're in a good mood and your mind is getting honed in,
And you're happy.
and you're happy and you know it, you take a moment to just sit at the end of that body and mind aligned training. Is so easy to connect to your heart.
Yeah.
You just drop in and you feel more joy, you feel presence, and there's a guidance within that starts to bubble up.
Yeah.
Now that's known as a satori. When you get a big pop, it's called an upload. You realize at the cognitive conscious level what you're actually feeling from your heart center. And to be able to drop in and align, people talk about living their purpose, living their message, living from soul or being soul led. That's what we mean by alignment. And it's so important because to have true fulfillment in the third phase, which is to attain, and we'll unpack that more, to have true fulfillment, alignment is everything.
Yeah.
If you're out of alignment and you're working so hard to get what you think you want, and even when it shows up, you don't feel the joy, maybe for a moment, and it's gone, you weren't actually being soul-led.
I think that we forget how amazing it feels when everything is aligned. Last week, I kicked off a new class for our Life Force Dojo members. It's called Satori Strong. And it's a 30-minute class that just we go, and we work on our muscles and our bones and balance, and we boogie and we squeeze. And the whole time that we were moving, we were talking about, I am able. What can I do? If there was a movement that was too hard or too complicated, what can I do? And we all as a group said, this is a full body prayer. This is a gratitude prayer. We are saying, thank you, body. Thank you for all the things you do for me all the time. Please let this be my little way of saying thank you. Thank you for helping make my bones stronger and my muscles stronger. By me doing this little thing is my way of showing you thank you. And we just put on a song and we all got quiet for a minute, and we just got quiet, and I guided them to feel their body. And because it was so tingly and so buzzy from this 30-minute workout, you could almost feel like this incredible, blissful kind of shakiness in a good way.
Body buzz.
And the heart rate was elevated, so you could feel the heart beating and you could feel the breath. And so many people wrote in and told me, I had an unexpected emotional release. Many people said, I just started crying. I just started sobbing. I was so grateful to my body for loving me so much. And I think it's because of those first two steps. We attuned the mind. We gave the mind, we said, this is a thank you. Right? That was very holy and very sacred. We were moving the body, so the body and the mind were aligned. And then we came into our hearts with that gratitude to remember why we were doing everything that we're doing. And then we just paused in that. And so many people burst into tears. And I loved that. And I reflected back on how important it is to take those pauses. Because what if we hadn't? We would have just run right over it.
That's key.
That's why I said it.
Because I like them smart. Like, I love them smart. You can miss those magic moments. We used to call it the magic moment. It's like right when you're done doing your body-mind aligned trainings. And really be present when you're training your body, because that's how you refine the mind, right? If you just go through something rote, this is why we love new curriculum, new routines, keeping it fresh to keep the mind engaged. Take different algorithms on your walk, go different patterns, keep the brain alert and engaged. So when you're seemingly done with your training, and you sit and pause, or you take a moment to emote and be grateful, it's so much richer, so rich. And there's also this thing we call baked bread. So when you take the bread out of the oven and it's just risen, it smells so good. You could walk into a bakery where they've just cooked fresh bread. It smells so good. You can smell it outside the building, and you have to go and get fresh bread. When you're in alignment, you're like baked bread. And so take a moment and fill your home with the radiance of your energy, because it's palpable. It's like when you meet somebody, you're like, they have such good energy or charisma. That's that soul-led, soul-aligned place. Another thing I wanted to say about all of this being in alignment, I think being a coach for so many years, and you might be a coach or teacher of something, or a parent, or just a friend that likes to help people, so often what people seek is clarity. We want to know that we're making the right decision. It's one of the biggest blocks. It's like, should I or shouldn't I do this?
And it's the flip side of they want clarity because they don't want to do something wrong.
Right, depending on intention and where you're coming from. Or not only that, clarity, but knowing, am I on the right path? Or how do I handle this situation? I'm feeling challenged, and we want clarity. Well, there's no greater place to gain clarity than from your soul center. This is that brain of your being that will give you the insights, but you have to take the time to connect with it, and also be patient and
trust.
listen for that. And it doesn't always to hear and you go, oh, I know what to do. Sometimes you'll feel what to do. We call it thinking with your heart. And you feel, and then you allow that feeling to mature, and it turns into insight. So when this opens up, the innocence of your heart opens back up, and you merge, finally it's called heart-brain coherence. When those start to kick in together, you get that Satori insight. And now you know what to do. And there's one more layer. When you're that tapped in, you start to attract the cooperative components that help you solve the problem, because you're not in the same consciousness that created the problem. You're in the consciousness that creates the solution.
And in that moment, when you can say all of a sudden you know what to do, there is an element of faith and trust, because it might just be a feeling, like a thought, like, oh, I think I'll call so-and-so today. And it's just going to feel like any other random thought.
Right.
But it's when you had the thought, who were you when you had that thought, as opposed to who were you when you had those other thoughts yesterday that weren't so great.
Very different people.
Right? So it's not that this, for me, this different voice comes in that has these aligned thoughts and leads me towards doings and beings and creativity. It seems just like my thoughts, but it's who I am, because in that moment I am the aligned energy. Right? And I think that people mistrusting, well, I just am thinking that. Yeah, but who are you when you're thinking that? And that's the key. And that's what you'll have trust in. And that's what you'll have faith in.
Beautiful. So we've been talking about attunement. And if you're taking notes, we're talking about getting your body and your mind into an attuned state so that the instrument of you is really in tune. You are able to hear and feel information and clear blockages and issues from your tissues, which then moves you into alignment with that brain of your being, your soul, your heart center. And now you're gaining clarity, insight, and drive. There's a motivation coming from soul that's very different than a motivation that's coming from outside, external, or thinking brain. Inner knowing is the most powerful driver you've got. And now we move into the third phase, which is attainment. And what is attainment? Attainment sometimes is just a feeling, the manifestation of feeling good. It doesn't have to be a thing. It can be an experience. It can be a connection, like people were talking about at the end of your Satori Strong class, and they had an emotional experience.
Yeah.
That's an attainment. You attained a state of consciousness.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's all we're after in the things anyway, is the way they make us feel. Right? So things, they're like exclamation points on the end of feelings that are beautiful. And attainment, a lot of times, shows up for you when you stay in alignment, because you stay attuned. So if you see this as an ongoing practice and you stay in alignment, the universe can move things around and line stuff up for you and do a lot of that heavy lifting and attract the right people and opportunities and such, that you're just this incredible manifester, seemingly effortlessly, but you really are doing your work.
Yeah. Because when you are like sitting in the center of your life as this aligned person who is in tuned mind, body, spirit, then you are like the conductor of all the instruments and all the areas of your life, whether it's your business or your relationships or your kids or your hobbies or your finances, whatever it is. The mistake is, okay, I just did my meditation practice. Oh, now I'm going to run over there and take care of that thing. And we used to call it leaving the pillow, because
Maybe
you
meditation on the
sit
pillow.
and meditate on a pillow. And we saw that people were beautiful. And then at the end of meditation session, they'd get up and just go back to their old identity. Because, I got to run over there and deal with that problem. No, just bring the so-called situation that needs a solution, instead of calling it a problem. Oh, there's a situation, I'm going to give it a solution. Bring it to the aligned place, so that the attainment of all the things that you want will be satisfying, right? Because it won't be satisfying if you run over there and do it, because you're not going to be in your center.
Mm-hmm. So let's review. Step 1, attune. Get in tune. Get your body and your mind aligned. Ooh, they were out of really.
No, we're just playing.
Oh, we're playing?
Mm-hmm. Do it again.
Okay, we're done. Thanks for hanging in with that part of the show. Don't worry, it's almost over. Kidding. Attunement. Now focus.
Thanks for watching us play around.
Get aligned. Alignment's everything. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
It's like
Alignment,
so everything.
Whatever.
Alignment
When
is
I'm
like
not aligned, it's
everything.
just like such a mess. I'm such a mess. Okay, back to this show. But you know what we're talking about. When you're off your game, you know when you're not in that flow state, in that aligned, beautiful, heart-centered state. And you know what? I don't care if it sounds woo-woo. I'd rather be woo-woo and so happy
Than poo-poo.
than po-po-poo-poo. Right? Like, forget about it. Like,
Forget about it.
Like, you're doing all your psychology and okay, fine, but are you aligned? Are you coming from your heart?
Are you
coming
happy?
Are you freaking happy and you know it?
Clap your hands.
So, yes, just get real. Get honest with yourself. Like, are you really super jazzed? Or you have all the right information and I can dispute that? And
Are you processing?
Yeah,
Are you always
like, whatever,
processing?
dude. Like, get on with it. You know? Like, are you happy? Or are you right? So, just
I like when somebody's upset about something and then you talk to them like a month later. How you doing with that? I'm still processing.
I'm still
I was
processing
like,
that.
I think we
Yeah.
should move on.
No, I need to process longer. I have some feelings that are stuck in my heart center. Hey, I just became Eugene.
We're not making fun of anything but ourselves, because we have learned that the only way to let go is to let go.
Oh, and to laugh.
Oh, so
You better laugh. Gotta laugh. Start laughing now. I mean, really. And it's all just a bunch of noise, right? Like, okay, all these words, and you know if you're in it, you're in it. Like, you're happy, and it's your truth, and or it's not.
Yeah, we were doing a gratitude, and I know we're wrapping it up, but I'm going to go tangent.
We're almost on the third step.
So Tristan has this thing he says to me quite often. He's like, do you want to play a game?
I like games.
I like games, but
my
to me,
games.
I grew up that games were like this little fun thing that you do.
Charades.
He must not have had any games, because he thinks that games are like,
Personal development games.
yeah, personal development games,
They're great.
interrogations,
Interrogation?
inquisition.
That's your job. I don't do that.
Anyway, so we're walking. He says, "Want to play a game?" I said, "Sure." And he's like, "Let's want to go back and forth at things that we're grateful for." And I do think it's fun
That's
now.
just, everybody here plays this game.
So my first thing that I was grateful for is I'm so grateful that I have practiced who I want to be, right? Because it's a choice enough that most of the time my default when I get up in the morning is I'm pretty happy and silly and playful
That's true.
and giggly and excited to go outside. I don't have to work hard to get there like I maybe did at other times in my life. And I was like, that was one of the things I'm most grateful for. I'm most grateful for joy for no reason at all. Joy for no reason at all.
Love it. Yeah, she's pretty bubbly. Pretty happy person. I think she came out the womb laughing. Or at least smiling.
I was thinking about you.
You can see why we're together. Step 3, attainment. You know, sometimes there are things that want to knock you off your alignment, and you know you want this thing and you're moving towards this thing or this experience, and you get a little bit of a knock, right? Or something, you look at it and it affects your energy, and you're like, you have a reaction or whatever. Now you're out of alignment. Your only job is to get back into alignment. And the fastest way to get back into alignment, attunement. Go move your body. Get out your head. Shift state. Move. Breathe. Plunge. Whatever.
Yeah.
Qigong. Tap. Bounce. Squeeze. Shake. Flow. Get back. Get back as fast as you can. Don't live out of alignment. It sucks the big one. And then when you're in that place, keep moving towards that which you love. And when you manifest or attain, let it just be a confirmation that you are in alignment. Let it, like, that's a writer downer. When I get the thing, it literally, that's not the happy point, because things go away and you get attached to stuff, you will suffer.
Yeah.
You got to be able to stay in flow and let go even when stuff, but you get the thing as a confirmation that I was in alignment. And you only know if you're in alignment if it brings joy. If it didn't bring joy or a feeling of peace or serenity or connection, it wasn't quite a home run.
Yeah, it sucked the big one, as you just said.
It was a big old pile of suck sometimes. Sometimes it's like, move the needle a little bit, right? Let's turn it up to 11, where you're like, because why not? Why
not?
Why do half-ass? Why do mediocre happy? Why not go for full-on bliss?
Yeah.
Like, I freaking love my life. Like, you deserve to be that happy. We all do. But just keep attuning and aligning and go for it. You deserve. I said, even we had in the little thing, what did it say at the top? It said, sorry guys, I got to remember, create the life you deserve. That's how I'm going to land it. You deserve to be blissed out.
Yeah.
Don't go for just, it's good, I'm content. Screw that.
Yeah.
Be blissed out.
Because nothing has meaning except the meaning we assign to it, right? And we have the ability to assign sacredness to everything. We have the ability to look at something and decide that it's magical. Like this morning on our walk, I saw this dried up leaf, and there was just a little bit of breeze, and it was on the ground, it was on the concrete, and as it moved across the road, it was so dried up, it went crinkle, crinkle, crinkle.
Oh, it went like this.
Crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. And Tristan goes, stop. What is it?
It was like 20 feet away, and it
"Do
went
you
like
see
that. And then it did it again. I'm like, I've never seen one of these.
never
Has
seen
spiders
one of
and
these.
tarantula.
Tarantula.
What do they call-
Tarantula.
Tarantula.
He wants a chai tea ranchula.
It's the tarantula.
Tarantula.
I thought it was a tarantula. And she goes, it's a leaf.
A dried up leaf.
I'm like, no way.
Yeah.
And we got there. It was a freaking leaf. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
but
it's all perception.
I liked his magical. He assigned magic and curiosity to
Yeah,
it, and
a
for me, I'm like,
tarantula.
it was a dried up leaf. So it's up to us the meaning we decide everything.
Oh my gosh. Life is just too funny. Anyway, thank you guys for being here. Those of you who are live, we saw your chats coming through, and it's really a joy. Veronica says, wonderful nuggets and laughs. Thank you both for being you. Jennifer said, I've never had that happen. I filmed all the way down to the street. I'm not sure. Let's see.
A chai chilla.
It was something like that, Miss Bonnie. Let's see. Matt Earls here. He said, blissed out. I love that. Yeah, let's go for the bliss. There's Radhika. She said, wonderful nuggets and laughs. Thank you for being you. And here we go. Miss Bonnie in for the home run. Fast way to get in alignment. Satori. It's like the buffet of alignment. So many ways to align. Thank you, guys. Okay. On that note, Sabrina, why don't you land the plane? I know you love landing the plane. She doesn't like it. I put her on the spot.
I've told him not to say
Don't
that
ever
to me
do
at
that
the
to
end of
me.
the show.
Don't say
I'm like,
plane.
at the end of the show when I'm done, don't ask me to land the plane.
Let's do an awkward. What is that guy? What was that guy's name? Is it Colbert? No, not Colbert. The other one. He says an awkward pause when he'd have his guests come on the show. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He's like a Scottish dude. Somebody tell us, help us out. Anyway, awkward pause. Okay. That's how we're going to land the plane. Love you guys. Have a great night. It's date night over here. We're going to go and be silly. Like, going to continue this conversation. Much love. Bye now.